Hello. Today's training is going to be very simple, and we are going to be talking about committing to posting on social media and what that's supposed to look like and how to get started. And the first thing I want to mention is that social media is part of your job now. When I first started coaching, I initially had only posted basically when life changes happened, someone's birthday, Christmas, a holiday, whatever. I didn't really show up and post. And sometimes I hear that from people that, well, I don't really post a lot, so I am not going to make a good coach. Well, it's the same thing with any job that you start. If I was to go to my HR position at my old job and say, I don't post spreadsheets. I don't ever do that. So I don't think this is a good job for me. But I look at the job description and it's to do spreadsheets on Excel. I show up, I learn how to do it, I get better at it, I get quicker at it, it becomes second nature eventually. And I do it because it's my job. The same thing goes for social media. Even if you're not experienced in it, it's okay. It's part of your job. You're going to learn as you go. You can even scroll back through my newsfeed. It may take you a while, but in the beginning, like you can see how dark and grainy my photos were and my content wasn't very good, but I showed up regardless. And you can see the progression of how I've gotten better over time and I've learned. So don't compare your day one to my day 1000. So again, it's your job. And so you want to make it a habit. And I would say that if you can post between 5 and 6 days a week, that is your sweet spot. And why is posting important? Well, social media, whether you use Facebook or Instagram or both, when I was a new coach, I did use both Facebook and Instagram. And then eventually I found that my people were more so on Instagram. And so I kind of switched over there. So that's all I use now. However, as a newer coach, I definitely suggest using both if you have both, and you can always change later on. But you want to start showing up because social media is your storefront. And if you're not showing up, your doors look like they're closed for business. And people don't know that you have anything to offer them that could potentially change their life. And so as you are posting, it shows the world that you are open for business. And again, I just challenge you to be real and authentic. It doesn't have to be overthought. And my best advice is to show up imperfectly instead of perfectly not showing up. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. And the inaction is not going to get you anywhere. If you really are taking your business seriously, you're going to take posting on social media seriously. So, what does posting on social media look like? I just suggest showing your personal journey in your fitness. So, in your stories, especially, is important to show up every day. So, whether it's a workout clip of the workout you did that morning, or you're energized, or drinking your shake afterward, or sharing a healthy recipe that you made, a motivating quote, whatever it might be, you're just showing up and inspiring people. You're giving them value. Sharing a funny meme, like entertainment, is total value. Like I try to share something entertaining, whether it's a funny meme or a reel I found every day in my stories. It's super simple and you don't have to overthink it, like I said. So just showing up and being proof the products work. It's also an extra layer of accountability for your own fitness journey. As you're showing up in your stories, like I've been showing up in my stories like almost every day, 6 days a week. I take Sundays off, in my stories consistently for the past few years. It's accountability for me. And people, if I don't show up, sometimes I'll get messages and say, hey, are you okay? And that's an extra layer of accountability for your own fitness journey. And so, giving tips, advice like, hey, here's, remember to drink your water today. This is how much water you should drink. And if you don't know something, get on Google. Like I started off knowing like almost nothing about fitness or nutrition, but I was like, how could I educate my followers today? So I went on Google. I'm like, what are the benefits of drinking water? There you go, Google University, and just typed in a few tips for getting your water intake for the day. Or maybe one day I was like, I don't really know much about metabolism, but maybe I could give some tips on how to boost your metabolism. Google 3 tips for boosting your metabolism. Okay, so you don't have to know everything, but you can provide value and put yourself in a position of expertise by just sharing that value with people. And so that's where you can kind of start in your stories. I would say suggest 7 to 10 stories per day. And if you're not used to posting in your stories a lot, that might seem like a lot, but really it's not a lot. What I like to do is each morning I take like 30 seconds and I just have these little categories that I have to post in my stories each day. So one might be my workout clip. One might be a motivational quote or a funny quote. One might be a day in the life. So whether that's like mom life, like Zeke riding his bike or going down the slide or showing a healthy meal, like whatever it might be, I have these little categories. And so like in the morning, I usually check off, maybe 5 of those because the morning time is my work time. So I have a little bit more time in my day to get this kind of stuff done. And then, during quiet time, it used to be during Zeke's nap, but he doesn't nap anymore. So during quiet time, when he sits down to watch a movie, I have a little bit of extra time in the afternoon. So I see, okay, what do I need to post in my stories? Oh, I need to post that healthy recipe that I was going to share. Okay, I'll mark that one off. So I just kind of check off a couple more. And then at the end of the day, if I have some more time to sit down, I can see, oh, I just have one more to check off. So just a few in the morning, a few in the afternoon, a few in the evening. It doesn't have to be, crazy. And some days I am like, yep, I checked off all the boxes. But other days, like especially when I used to work full time, I would have days where I didn't get to post everything, and that's okay. Have a little bit of grace for yourself. It's not gonna be perfect every single day. But that's just some tips to kind of figure out about what you should be posting in your stories. And so for your feed, what you want to do is I would be so overwhelmed with my posting, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to post today. What do I post? And so what I found to be helpful to me, so this is just a tip, is to take 30 to 60 minutes on a Saturday morning when I wasn't working my business, but like I would just get up and either before Zeke was awake or while he was watching morning cartoons, I would just take the 30 to 60 minutes to kind of plan out what I wanted to post throughout the week. And sometimes I would have it all done, or sometimes I would just know like what the topic would be and maybe write out some content, and I'd be like, okay, so I need to snap a photo of that later. You can do it however you want. Some people will take the full day Saturday, not a full day, but a little bit more time on Saturday, and they'll snap a couple photos, a couple reels or whatever, and have it all prepared. I usually get about 80 to 90% of my social media content planned on Saturdays. And then as my days come, I know exactly what I'm posting. Maybe I just need to take the reel really quick or post or snap that photo or finish up the content. But for the most part, it takes the load off my shoulders so that during the week, I don't have to worry so much about social media because I already know exactly what I'm posting. So that's a tip. You don't have to do it. But I found, again, that I would be so overwhelmed that I would just not post at all because I was trying to rack my brain about what I wanted to post. So that's the first tip, is to just kind of plan out your social media in advance. Now, what should you be posting? Think of it as one of the 3 E's. Is it educational? Is it entertaining? Or is it empowering? As long as it's one of those 3 E's, you're good to go. Like, you don't need to overthink it. There's going to be more social media trainings along the way later on that you can learn. But right now, just keep it simple. For educational, share a recipe. Share some advice, share tips for creating a morning routine. It can be, again, get on Google. If you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know anything, get on Google, find some information out there. Like, there is a infinite amount of information out there. And if you stay ignorant, it's a choice. In today's day and age, that is a choice because there is information right at your fingertips. Like, hello. For entertainment, I like to do funny reels. If you don't know how to do reels, there's trainings. So don't get overwhelmed with that. We can go over reels later. It took me a while to actually get into the reel trend because I don't like change. But eventually I realized that Instagram, for instance, gives you more eyes on your page. The algorithm is in your favor. So now I mostly only do reels. And I found that I enjoy it more now that I learned it, because I didn't know how to do it. I learned it and I got better at it. So don't worry about being perfect with reels, or if you don't know how to do them, you can do it later, but just throwing up a picture of a recipe that you made and some advice, like anything that educates people. Or no, hang on. I think I was on the entertainment one. Entertaining reels or an entertaining quote. I've had many quotes do very well. And again, if you just have this quote that you want to post, you can do it as a reel and add music. So it might actually just get more eyes on it just for being a reel, even though it's not a video. It's still just this picture, but you added music to it, so it's a reel. And I would suggest doing it that way. And a lot of times those types of things are of value because they're shareable, like an entertaining quote, like funny mom quotes, like funny boy mom quotes. Get on Google. There's so many quotes that you can find, or inspirational quotes or whatever. And so I usually do about one time a week, I'll do just a quote. And so it's not a picture, it's not me in it. And so that's a very easy, simple way to provide value, because entertainment is value. People will follow you if you're entertaining. Or again, funny reels. I do, it doesn't have to be fitness related as well. Like I do mom type content all the time, like being a boy mom, or just funny things that come along with being a parent. And if you're not sure about like reels, or if you're really wanting to get into that space, I will take just a few minutes just to scroll through the reels. If you just click on that middle button where the reels are and go through the feed, you can find sounds that you think are funny, or whatever you want to do, and you can save those sounds to do for later. And so that's where I kind of get my inspiration. I will either recreate one that I think is hilarious and just kind of use it as inspiration, or I'll tweak it to make my own because I had an idea in my head. So entertaining, and then empowering. So that is just empowering people and being motivational, being vulnerable, and sharing any struggles that you might have. Like when I was going through postpartum anxiety, I would share a lot about that, but make it in a way that was empowering to people who are going through it too, not just like woe is me, but empowerment. And so just empowering, whether that's fitness or life, those are the ways that you can provide value to people. And so that's the whole key. Social media is not about you. It's about your followers. It's about them. How can you provide value to them? So educational, entertainment, empowering. And then of course you want to put it out there as well that your doors are open for business. So I think of it as like boxing. You do like a jab, 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 and then a right hook. And so you give, and then you ask. So give value, and then maybe every few posts or once a week, you can actually put it out there. Hey, I have an accountability group coming up, or whether that's like a before and after picture of yourself or whatever it might be, and put it out there that you're available to help people. Same in your stories. You can actually put it out there a little bit more often in your stories than you can on your feed, because in your feed, if you're posting, let's say you post 6 days a week. And so once a week, 1 out of every 6 posts is an invite to your challenge group or an invite to the coaching opportunity. That's good because you provided value 5 times and then you asked once. That's a good ratio. But in your stories, if you're posting that 7 to 10 times a day, that means that you can be providing a lot more value, so you can invite more often. Technically, you could even, sometimes I'll put an invite every single day in my stories, or at the very least every other day. So in your stories, you can be a little bit more on the side of putting out there what you're actually doing, because you're giving so much more value more often. So anyway, that is pretty much it. Again, don't overcomplicate things, and you can definitely tag me in your posts, or message me and say, hey, I just posted, and I can go to your post and I can like it and I can comment on it, because having that support is very important. And I want to support you as you start this venture. And so commit to posting daily. That's what I put in in your new coach checklist. But again, it doesn't have to be every single day. Like I take Sundays completely off. It's my day to just really relax. So I'm ready to go for the next week. I personally post 6 days a week, but I would say at a minimum 5 days a week if you can. You will get better at social media as you go. Just start. Put yourself out there. Be vulnerable. give people value, and let them know that your doors are open for business. I hope this helped. Text me when you finish this video and let me know that you finished and that you're ready to rock and roll.